Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Nitin Joshi, Professor in Urology with teaching experience of 25 years, working as consultant neurosurgeon in Panvel for more than 30 years. Today, we will discuss the topic blood supply to penis. Penis consists of three expanded cylinders of erectile spongy tissue, namely two corpora cavernosa and one corpus spongiosum. Two corpora cavernosa are forward continuation of two crura, while corpus spongiosum is forward continuation of bulb of penis. Blood supply means arterial supply and venous drainage. Normally, the main source of blood supply to penis is through paired internal pudendal artery. Typically, internal pudendal artery arises as last branch of internal iliac artery. In Alcock's canal, internal pudendal artery travels adjacent to pudendal nerve. In Alcock's canal, internal pudendal artery gives a branch called perineal artery, and then internal pudendal artery continues as common penile artery till it runs in deep perineal space or pouch up to perineal membrane. Perineal membrane where bulb of penis is attached. So at the level of bulb of penis at perineal membrane, common penile artery trifurcates into three terminal branches, namely bulbourethral artery, dorsal artery of penis, and deep or cavernosal artery. So bulbourethral artery, dorsal artery of penis, and deep or cavernosal artery. Now first, bulbourethral artery. It initially runs in superficial perineal pouch. The bulbar portion of bulbourethral artery quickly enters bulb of penis and it supplies bulb of penis, proximal and mid bulbar urethra and Cowper's glands. Urethral portion of bulbourethral artery, which is also called as spongiosal artery, it runs within corpus spongiosum lateral to urethra. These two spongiosal arteries or urethral arteries supplies corpus spongiosum of penis, part of mid and distal bulbar urethra, pendulous urethra, glandular urethra and glans partially. Dorsal artery of penis runs the entire length of free or body of penis dorsally, lying between deep dorsal vein of penis medially and dorsal nerve of penis laterally. So vein, artery, nerve. First vein, then dorsal artery, then dorsal nerve. Distally, two distal arteries run on corpora cavernosa along with branches of two dorsal nerves. Dorsal arteries enter glans penis at dorsolateral aspect. The main function of dorsal artery of penis is to supply blood to glans. So, dorsal artery is responsible for engorgement of glans during erection. On the way, in distal 1/3 of penis, dorsal arteries also give lateral branches called circumflex branches which run laterally and give some blood supply to corporal bodies. These dorsal arteries on either side, after giving blood to glans, anastomose with urethral or spongiosal branches of bulbourethral arteries on either side in glans. This anastomosis is responsible for giving retrograde blood supply to pendulous urethra, distal bulbar urethra and may be part of mid-bulbar urethra. However, if there is any prior disease or pathology of anterior urethra like stricture urethra or hypospadias, then this retrograde blood flow through anastomosis between dorsal penile artery and urethral artery is compromised. So, if bulbar artery, that is branch of bulbourethral artery, is damaged in the fracture pelvis itself or injury to bulbar artery during excision of stricture, then it will result into poor blood supply at site of anastomosis because both the sources of blood supply are compromised. As a result, the entire urethra may show post-op necrosis after circumferential mobilization of urethra during urethroplasty. Cavernosal artery or drip arteries enter penis at hilum of penis. Hilum of penis is the site where two crura fuse with each other and then they run in superficial perineal pouch as cavernosal bodies. There is one cavernosal artery for one corpora cavernosa. So this cavernosal artery initially runs in superficial perineal pouch in the fixed part of the penis, that is in the cavernosal bodies present in superficial perineal pouch. Each cavernosal artery enter in the center of corpora cavernosa, which is present in the fixed part of the penis or root of the penis, and then travels distally in free part of penis. So each cavernosal artery runs within the substance of corporal bodies. So during crural separation for end-to-end urethroplasty, if corporal bodies are injured, then there will be bleeding from helicine arteries. These helicine arteries arise from cavernosal arteries. Also, there will be bleeding from your cavernosal veins. And so the underrunning of these injured corporal bodies is important for control of bleeding. Cavernosal artery, while traveling from fixed part of penis to free part of penis, distally along its course, it gives multiple terminal branches called as helicine arteries. These helicine arteries empty into sinusoidal spaces. So, helicine arteries are responsible for blood supply to corporal bodies. In flaccid state, blood diffuses from central sinusoids to peripheral sinusoids. These helicine arteries responsible for blood supply to trabecular erectile tissue, and these helicine arteries are in intimate contact with the smooth muscle of corporal body. Since helicine arteries are responsible for blood supply to sinusoids and erectile smooth muscle, they are responsible for arterial contribution to penile erection. These helicine arteries are contracted and tortuous in flaccid state while dilated and straight during erection. In addition to cavernosal arteries, several accessory arteries may enter at crus or mid-shaft level of the penis. Cavernosal artery and branches of dorsal artery of penis that give additional blood supply to penis are surrounded by periarterial soft tissue sheath which protect both the arteries from occlusion by tunica albuginea during process of erection. Studies have shown that accessory pudendal arteries may be present which may give additional blood supply in addition to normal pair internal pudendal artery, or this accessory internal pudendal artery may actually replace the normal paired internal pudendal artery. These accessory pudendal artery commonly arise from ipsilateral obturator artery, superior vesical artery, inferior vesical artery, which are branches of anterior division of internal iliac artery, or may arise from external iliac artery or femoral artery. In some men, these accessory pudendal artery may contribute or constitute the dominant or only arterial supply to corpus cavernosum. Hence, there is the importance of preserving this accessory pudendal artery in potency preserving radical prostatectomy. Three patterns of penile arterial supply. Type 1, blood supply arising exclusively from normal internal pudendal artery. Type 2, blood supply arising from both normal internal pudendal artery as well as accessory internal pudendal artery. And type 3, blood supply arising exclusively from accessory internal pudendal artery. Now, venous system of penis, it is divided into three distinct systems with their intercommunication. Namely, these three distinct systems are superficial venous system, intermediate venous system, and deep venous system. The superficial venous system of penis consists of multiple small superficial veins present in subcute. They are responsible for venous drainage of skin, subcute, and prepuce. This multiple small superficial vein coalesce at root of penis to form a single vein called superficial dorsal vein. Normally, there is a single superficial dorsal vein which drains into right or left saphenous vein. Sometimes instead of one, there may be two superficial dorsal veins. Then each superficial dorsal vein will drain into ipsilateral saphenous vein. Now intermediate venous system. It consists of deep dorsal vein of penis and circumflex veins. Glans penis is drained by multiple small veins. These multiple small veins unite to form retrocoronal plexus. This retrocoronal plexus drains to form starting of deep dorsal vein of penis. Deep dorsal vein of penis typically runs as a single vein within a groove between two corpora cavernosa. It runs in a plane between tunica albuginea and buccal fascia of penis. Deep dorsal of penis leaves penis below buccal fascia and then it enters pelvis, where after penetrating urogenital diaphragm, it trifurcates into its three tributaries, namely in the center, superficial branch of deep dorsal vein, which runs between two puboprostatic ligaments, ascends over prostate and bladder neck, while other two tributaries are two lateral periprostatic venous plexus of Santorini, in which even veins of the prostate drain. This periprostatic venous plexus of Santorini has free communication with perivesical venous plexus. This perivesical venous plexus ultimately drain into internal iliac vein. The circumflex veins arise from corpus spongiosum, travel laterally perpendicular to long axis of penis around corpora cavernosa. They communicate with longitudinally running veins called lateral veins of penis, and then through communicating channels, circumflex veins ultimately drain into deep dorsal vein of penis at oblique angle. Thus, glans and corpus spongiosum of penis drain into deep dorsal vein of penis. These circumflex veins, prior to drainage into deep dorsal vein of penis, receive blood from emissionary veins. Corpora cavernosa is composed of agglomeration of multiple sinusoidal spaces into which helicine artery empty the blood. From these sinusoidal spaces, multiple small venules arise. These multiple small venules below tunica albuginea form plexus called subtunical venous plexus or subalbuginal venous plexus. From this subtunical plexus arise emissionary veins. These emissionary veins traverse tunica albuginea in an oblique manner to empty into circumflex veins. Thus, emissionary veins are in direct contact with tunica albuginea, so emissionary veins can be easily occluded by shearing action of tunical layers during erection. Tunica albuginea is a bilayered structure and is the outer layer which plays important role in additional compression of emissionary veins in erection. So in distal penis, emissionary veins which arise from distal part of corpora cavernosa, they arise dorsally, ventrally and on the lateral aspect. Those which are arising from the emissionary veins which are arising from dorsal aspect drain directly into deep dorsal vein of penis, while emissionary veins arising from the lateral aspect drain initially into circumflex veins, which in turn drain into deep dorsal vein of penis, while emissionary veins arising from ventral aspect of the distal part of corpora cavernosa drain into periurethral vein, which through communicating channels drain into internal pudendal vein. Thus, deep dorsal vein of penis is the main venous drainage of distal two-thirds of penis, that is, glans, corpus spongiosum, bulb of penis and distal parts of corpora cavernosa. They drain mainly in deep dorsal vein of penis. What we have seen, that the circumflex veins into which emissionary veins of the distal part, they drain into the circumflex veins. However, the circumflex veins are present only in distal two-thirds of penis. That is, there are no circumflex vein in the proximal one-third of penis. And just now we have seen that in distal two-thirds of penis, emissionary veins empty in circumflex veins. But in proximal one-third of penis, since there are no circumflex veins, emissionary veins of proximal part of penis forms a part of deep venous system. Thus, deep venous system begins as emissionary veins of proximal one-third of penis. These emissionary veins of proximal one-third of penis unite to form 2 to 5 cavernous veins, which arise at the level of hilum of penis. These 2 to 5 cavernous veins unite to form larger 1 to 2 cavernous veins. These 1 to 2 larger cavernous veins drain into internal pudendal vein, which in turn drains into internal iliac vein. While crural veins, there are small several veins which are arising from the dorsolateral aspect of crura, which are called as the crural venules. They form crural veins which drain into internal pudendal vein and ultimately into internal iliac vein. The veins of three systems communicate variably with each other. Variation in number, distribution and termination of these three systems is common. We have seen that the veins of prostate drains into lateral venous plexus of Santorini. So, in case of advanced cancer of prostate, when the tumor cells occlude periprostatic venous plexus of Santorini, then there will be obstruction to the venous drainage from the deep dorsal vein of penis, and we have seen that the deep dorsal vein of penis is the main venous drainage of distal two-third of the penis, that is glans, corpus spongiosum, bulb and distal two-third of corpora cavernosa. So this will result into significant venous engorgement, and so the patient may present as priapism in case of patient with advanced cancer prostate. Thank you very much.